and witnessing to people. But if you never drink, that might be a good place to go witness to people, as long as they're not drunk. If you get there before at the beginning of happy hour. Verse 17, when then saith the damsel that kept the door unto Peter, art not thou also one of this man's disciples? He saith, I am not. She knows the followers of Jesus are there and assumes Peter is one of them. She just asks the question as he is about to go through the gate. Aren't you one of that man's disciples? He says, I am not. And walks on through. Verse 18. And the servants and officers stood there who had made a fire of coals, for it was cold. Granny coals, I guess. And they warmed themselves, and Peter stood with them and warmed himself. Outside the palace grounds, the people are gathering. Not many at that time of morning, but the guards are there to keep order. They build a fire, and Peter stands with them, warming himself. Now we move on to section verse 19 through 24. The trial before high priest. Verse 19. The high priest then asked Jesus of his disciples and of his doctrine. Jesus answered, I spake openly to the world. I even taught in the synagogue and in the temple, whether the Jews always resort, and in secret have I said nothing. It always interested me that they would excommunicate anybody who was associated with Jesus, but they were afraid to excommunicate Jesus. He taught daily in the temple, whenever he was in Jerusalem. Why askest thou me? Ask them which heard me what I have said unto them. Behold, they know what I said. The scene shifted back to the trial of the Lord Jesus. Notice the dignity of the Lord Jesus. Verse 22. And when he had thus spoken, one of the officers which stood by struck Jesus with the palm of his hand, saying, Answer thou the high priest so. Verse 23. Jesus answered him, If I have spoken evil, bear witness of the evil. But if well, why smitest thou me? He is subjected to this kind of humiliation. He is yielding himself to die for the sins and for your sin and my sin. However, he does call their attention to the fact that what they are doing is illegal and contrary to the Mosaic law. So we can be assertive as Christians. We don't have to be doormats. We can say, what you're saying is offending me. I would like for you to stop saying those things about me, calling me names, or whatever you're doing. They have no witness that he has done evil, and yet they smite him. They are the ones who are breaking the law. For one thing, no trial is to begin at night nor end at night. That's interesting. I've seen trials go into the night. We should never. That's a violation of the law, isn't it? There's a reason for that, because people get tired and go home and don't see what's being going on in the trial. A trial is not to begin and end the same day. Every trial I've ever known does begin and end the same day. They are not to strike a person, well, unless it's a long trial, but most of the ones I've been in were the same day. It lasts like 5 minutes. They are not to strike a prisoner who has not yet been proven guilty. Verse 24. Now Ananias had sent him bound unto Caiaphas the high priest. John puts this little verse in to tell us again that it was Ananias who was bound, who bound him. Ananias is the one who plotted and planned all of this